The lighting seems really dark today.
Hello, hello, my beautiful people. We are back on our pop-up conversations, and this is not a joke. We are here for real. Just because it's April 1st, that doesn't mean it's a joke. And yes, you might not be used to with us on like a Wednesday afternoon. Usually happens on a Thursday evening for those that are watching us live, but this is not your joke. It's real. And talking about real, I have with me Lorna, one of my beautiful co-hosts of our Body, Mind, and Soul. Hey, Lorna.
Hi, Adriana. It's good to be here, and I'm excited for what we're going to talk about today. And you're right, it's no joke.
There's no joke. And talking about no joke, it's going to be a no joke and probably maybe intense conversation about speaking about unspeakable or about the untalkable, which is when it comes to in our preparation for the next micro summit, which is happening on April 12th, the team, the many phases of chronic illness and recovery. I think I was talking with my beautiful ladies, Michelle and Lorna, a couple of days ago, and we talked. I think it's important to bring up what people don't talk about when it comes chronic illness and recovery, and which from my perspective, it means that most of the people suffer in silence and they've been said, taught, give a diagnostic, and so on, that this is your sentence and just live with it. Figure it out to manage it, but doesn't exist any other opportunities for you to get out of it. And is this true? And if you think it's true, who is that person or the voice that's telling that is true? Because I believe, in my personal opinion, that any kind of, and I will give you my story, is that when you accept a diagnostic, when you accept something that someone else thinks that knows better about you and your body, then no offense, but that's BS because it's not real. As an example, I was diagnosed with a severe asthma years ago, and I've been to all the specialists in Canada that's possible to go. And they put me on all the puffers and all the inhalers and all the prednisones and all the cortisols and you name it, I tried them all and nothing worked. And all the doctors told me this: I'm sorry, I know you're 30 years old, but you're not going to be able to run, do activities, hiking, none of this, even go up the stairs. And I believed that for many years until one day I had enough of all of this and I said, excuse my language, F to everyone. Not saying that the doctors are right or not right, but they don't know my body better than I know it, and I can do my own miracles if I decided. And that day, when I was in the doctor office, when another specialist said, that's it. You might have to change the country and go live somewhere else where it's warmer, where maybe have the possibility of a more Mediterranean life and all that BS. And I say, sounds fine, but it's not working with what I want in this moment. And they say, you cannot do this work, you cannot do these things, and you have to take these pills and this puffer every day for the rest of your life. When I heard the rest of your life, something inside of me said, hell no, because I felt like I was put in a box in a cage. And in that moment, I made the decision that I will find my own way to prove to the doctor is wrong and to prove that my body can do anything. And I did. The next summer, long story short, I ran 10Ks. I run 10Ks with no wheezing, no puffing, no none of that. And before I was diagnosed with chronic asthma and chronic sinusitis. So
Wow,
that's why I want to bring this discussion. Lorna, tell me when it comes to you, in your experiences about this with your clients and with yourself.
it's so true, and I love that you did 10 kilometer, that you ran that, and yeah, that journey of really saying no, because we've been taught so much to look outside of ourselves, right? The outside authority and different bodies of work, things that say, yeah, we have the authority. So I love that you said, and it does bring to mind as well. This is what we're at 26. So just over 25 years ago, I remember I was teaching and I started to get laryngitis 2 weeks after school started. So I was off for a little bit. And as a teacher, it's not in the school system, it's not a great thing to have laryngitis. So was off for a little bit and I came back within a few weeks again, laryngitis between September and Christmas time. I was off 4 times with laryngitis and my energy going down, 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 down to the point where I was using a microphone and a speaker system so my students could even hear me talk. And so I was seeing specialists and my doctor, did different tests and stuff. And the specialist said, yeah, it is similar to what you is that you have fibromyalgia and it's chronic. Get used to it. This is going to be how you live for the rest of your life. Get used to it. And I said, thanks and no thanks. And interestingly, it would have meant if I had done that, I would have gone on long-term disability. I would have got tens of thousands of dollars. I could have lived on long-term disability. I thought, nope, not worth it. I'm saying, and I said to her, I said, thank you and no thank you. It's a label I choose to not live with. And that actually became when I really said no and looked in, it actually became the time of my spiritual seeing things and experiencing things from a whole different thing. And the journey of my health and my spiritual journey just really was amazing. And so that's why I talk about it, the gift of my health crisis. And so
Yes.
I love that. And it really does become this thing. And Adriana, it speaks as well to me of um, how we have been in our story, we've been taught, look this way, that this is how things are and
Yes.
keep the blinders on. Why? Well, because outside of this view that we've had, there are different perspectives. Whether it's where we live, thinking, well, everybody does this. Everybody has this number of hours in the daytime. Everybody, of light. Everybody does. Everybody eats this way. Everybody just kind of like, oh, wait a minute. There's the gift of traveling, right? Or hearing different things. It's kind of like there are different perspectives. And so too with health. Like somebody, like I never thought of looking at it that way. Yeah. And so that's what I love. I love what we're doing in the micro summit coming up. That which is untalked about or untalkable. It's kind of like it's only untalkable when we're afraid or we've been taught don't talk about it or don't look outside of maybe what we've been taught, conditioned, believed. The big bad world, or there is no other perspective. This is it. And I was actually just listening to somebody today, and they were talking about how so much of what we can perceive, it's only what's less than 1% of what we see out there. And I remember 20, 25 years ago hearing that aspect of the island people, some people who were just living on an island and this big ship was coming to them and they couldn't see it. Why? Because they had no concept of that even existing. And so
Yeah.
this idea of um, that which is unseen, it's not necessarily because it's not here. It's just we don't have the perception. We can't yet perceive it because our mind says this is what exists. So I love what we're doing in the micro summit coming up in just a week and a half, and the different perspectives are going to come. We're going to talk about it. People talking about how they've done their own healing, how they support other people. And I love this.
Yes, I love this. That's why I love the micro summits and what we're doing because the people, each person that we speaker we bring is showing us their own perspective, their own, because everything, I always say everything is just a perspective. It's a perception, is a perception of how you see things. And then bringing these speakers, each one of them showing us their different angles of the same thing, but different angles. This
Yeah.
is gives hope and also gives to our audience to wow, I never thought that this is possible. And sometimes one of the speaker stories can be very similar and matching and mirroring to something that you're going through or you went through or someone in your life that you love that they're going through. So that's why we're doing this is bringing you a different perspective outside of what you've been indoctrinated. And I will say it and I will own it, we've been indoctrinated in a certain way of being, seeing, doing things. And it's time to break those boxes and say, enough with this. I can choose differently if I choose, if I make that decision. And nobody can decide for you except you. because
Hmm.
you are you with your in your own mind, with your own thoughts, in your own processing, with your own emotions. Nobody can, even they say, what they say, a doctor doesn't actually heal you or fix you. As example, when you go to get, I don't know, you have a fracture. What they do, or you have a semi fracture, what they do, they breaking your, literally, they breaking things so it can put it together. They only aligns it and then lets your body heal. The doctor doesn't do the healing. The doctor just adjusts certain things and put them together, put them on the right path, so then your body does the actually work. That's why after break a LCL or like a knee or anything, it takes 6 months to a year to recover. Who's doing the recovery? The doctor? No, your body, you.
Hmm.
And you don't
Yeah.
even have control over that. Your
Hmm.
body is doing it naturally.
Yeah.
But we have control of our minds. We have control of our decision that we make every day. We choose to live with a diagnostic that basically is a statistic of what the rest of the people or numbers said, but you not necessarily need to belong into that statistic. It's up to you to choose.
Right.
I'm going to go and belong on that statistic, or I'm going to make my own path. I'm going to
Yeah.
do my own thing. And you have a plethora into the body, mind, and soul of people that can
Hmm.
support you in many, many various ways. You just have to choose.
Yes.
It starts with you.
I love that. And as you were speaking, what flashed in was that the almost a subtitle, Messages of Hope and Healing, Holistic Messages of Hope and Healing. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So that is our message for you today,
Hmm.
to see that there's not just hope, but it's beyond hope when you
Yeah.
make the decision, when you stop listening what other people tell you that you should do or not
Yeah.
do, and start listening what is true for you. If you feel like this is my diagnostic and I'm gonna marry with it, and I take responsibility that I choose this diagnostic in my heart and I go with it,
Yeah.
then by all means do that. But if you don't, then you feel inside of you that you have more, you can do more, and you don't know how to do it, then seek for help. I
Right.
said in my group, and Lorna knows, I said always in my group, no more suffering alone. Enough with this. We don't have to suffer alone anymore. Maybe that was in the past, in many years ago, but now we have the resources. We have the information here in our phones. You can just Google it and you can ask AI, you can ask whoever you want, you can ask your friends or ask us in our body and mind and soul, and we will connect you with the right person. But it requires you to speak up and say, I don't want to live this anymore. This is not how I want to live the rest of my life. So this is my calling and our calling to you today to register for the event. If your money is a problem, then we do not have excuse because it's a free workshop. If you want to dive deeper and it will cost you a dinner, then you will have access to all these speakers that you can get in the Zoom with them, and also you have access to each one of us to ask any questions you have, and you can have a hot seat conversations, you can have a personal conversation with one of the speakers, or you can get the goodies from all of the speakers that they are there for you to support you. Because guess what, these speakers, they don't get paid, they come they spend their time, their energy, their wisdom of doing anything else to come to serve you. So that's why we insist of being here, not for us, but for you, because it's
Mhm.
time for you to do something for yourself. So I hope this is you listen to it, not just with this, because this is going to give you excuses. I know I'm a queen of them. Or you're going to listen to what your body and mind and heart is saying most, and go with that. And that's why we creating the micro summits, and that's why we here as a body, mind, and soul, to support you, to be there, that know that you not have to go through this
Yeah.
alone. Whatever that is, a chronic illness, and as a body, as a mind, or as your heart and your emotions. We're here for all of them.
Mm.
Lorna, anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Only that I'm excited about it. Only I'm excited for our summit. The speakers that we've got are truly amazing, and I'm looking forward to what they will share. We've had one-on-one interviews that have been streamed into into our body, mind, and soul group. We've been able to, they've been posting things on their pages and in their groups. And I'm so excited for the wisdom that they have from their own lived experience, their expertise that has contributed to and come from their own experience and what they're going to be bringing to us. So I am so thrilled and honored for each of the speakers who will be joining us.
Yes, we actually I interview Dee and also Liz
Yeah.
this morning, so I'm gonna post them soon. And then Lorna, I know you interview recently Kendra, so we have Ayurveda perspective, we have psychedelics and yoga healing, we have the hypnosis point of view. We have all these kind of different views
So,
that it's so rich, and I'm excited because I don't know if you're gonna join or not, but I'm gonna be there. First of all, because I'm a host, and second, because even if I wasn't, I'm always learning something about all of this.
yeah.
I'm always getting a different perspective I never heard before that I can take afterwards and then share it with my clients. And
Mm,
also, if I know that I cannot support one of my clients, guess what? Now I have an army of wellness providers I can reach directly because I know them
yeah.
and I can, guide them. And so my clients will be taken care of either way, whatever's coming from my services or someone
Mm,
else. So that's why we're super, super thrilled and honored to be able to do such a work in this world. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you,
yeah.
Lorna. We'll see you soon. Take care of you. We're gonna drop in the comments the link to register. If you didn't register or you know someone, just drag them with you, tell them to come with you because it's time to look at this perspective. Take care, everyone. See you.
See you soon.